Hello, and welcome to the Wayward Inquisition. I am Chamberlain Jonas here on a wonderful Thursday evening. Let me join you in the live streaminess. Also, just to make sure that I am audible. Yes, I have the sound, as they say. There we go. Don't want to get distracted, you know. But yes, here at the Wayward Inquisition, we do the D&D, and we want you to do D&D too, because it's awesome. And we use D&D as a very broad term, and nowadays I would say kind of most people do. But tonight, we will be building a society from scratch per the awesome Meatball who is in our Discord, which if you are not part of our Discord, shame on you. You need to get in there right now. Y'all hear? But yes, our wonderful Inquisitor, Angry Meatball, had the suggestion of why not build a society from the ground up? And so it was like, well, heck, that's a pretty good idea. And so here we be. Now, to start off with building a society. Hey! Speak of the Meatball and he appears. He also is necrotheologian. Theologian, sorry. You gotta get that G in at the end. So to start off, we should probably, I would think you would want to start off with who's going to live in this society. Now, D&D has quite a plethora of races and whatnot. Let's go with something, I would say, abnormal. So nothing like an elf or a tiefling, a dwarf, nothing like that, you know. Let's go with one of kind of the oddball races. Move my mic a smidgen. And also make sure that I don't knock it off of its pedestal. It's, I think they came like this, but the stand that connects them to the arm isn't, like, correct or something. So they've gotten quite loose over time. Let's see, we got some animalistic races on here. Yeah, there was, what was it, Humblewood that added in, like, basically if the farm animal or just animal existed, they threw it in there. Ooh, of course, you may, of course, add suggestions. That is why the chat is here, indeed. Now, to warn those watching, listening, wondering why they are watching this strange man on their screen, there is quite a delay between this and the chat. So just don't be alarmed if you type something and, 3 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, hey! I'd like to suggest a step 0. What are these people for? Ooh, interesting. A good step 0 indeed. And yeah, I got a Google Doc here open, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to do this. Step 0. Are we designing for simulation to fill the world with realistic people and places? Or are we designing a story element? Ah, an interesting quandary. Hmm. Oh, well, yes, it'll definitely color the choices that we have coming towards us. Let's do. Mm, let's go realistic. You know, for simulation purposes. That sounds good. So what are these people for? Well, since it's for simulation, realistic purposes, then their reasoning, yeah, I can see that's why that was a good starting point then. Because with life, there is no purpose. I say in the best way possible. So yeah, it wouldn't be like, okay, let's design these goblin societies so that the beep boop bops can do the heebie jeebies and hmm. Let's see. We got the Vidalcan. They're kind of weirdos. Tall, tall blue people. Hmm. Oh wow, they've added some new races on here. What the heck is an umbral human? I'll read that later. Ah, D&D. Ever expanding. Please stop. I also mean in the best way possible. It's just, there's getting to be a lot. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with the shifter. For those unfamiliar, shifters are humanoid people but have beastie qualities to them. Fangs, claws, sort of odd ears, depending on I guess, the artist's rendition. Actually, yeah, let's read. What book are you from? The Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse. Good old Mordenkainen. So, shifters are sometimes called were-touched, as they are descendants of people who contracted full or partial lycanthropy. Yeah. Here we go. Shifters are similar to humans in height and build, but are typically more lithe and flexible. Their facial features have a bestial cast, often with large eyes and pointed ears. Most shifters also have prominent canine teeth. They, yeah, grow fur like hair. That's a nice background on the shifter, but let's tweak them a little bit. I mean, we are building from scratch, so let's take the shifter and make it our own. Let's say we'll keep the whole, you know, human beast aspect. Ooh. Sometimes you just want to insert your personal philosophies into your game, which is your right. It is your right. And if you're going to make a kingdom that is an allegory, build that way. Mm-hmm. Um, hmm. Let's do, okay, shifters. So, kind of a human animal. not quite a hybrid, but still a hybrid, if that makes sense. Um, let's go with that instead of it being like a werewolf kind of thing. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's make them, let's do bird aspect. So they look humanoid, but, you know, they probably have some talons at the end of their fingers, you know, claws, whatnot. Because what shifters can do normally is you can activate their shift, and you know they become more kind of feral looking. But let's do that. These bird people, that in order to fly, they have to shift, and their wings painfully sprout out, you know, from their backs. And the normal shifter, that shifted phase, is for a limited time. So let's keep that because that adds um, a nice influence into how their society would be. Because if they just straight had wings, when they started placing buildings and kind of picking where they would live, you know, they could be more gracious with the flight time. Like, oh yeah, you know, everybody can fly over here to there, no problem. But then you keep that little time frame in there, and yeah, they're gonna have to keep things a little more compact. Um, we'll kind of go with more kind of a hawk vibe. So yeah, their eyes would be really good. Probably not a. Do hawks have a good sense of smell? I feel like their thing is mostly sight. Do hawks have good smell? Ooh, they don't. Excellent. Okay, okay. And then hearing? Okay, yeah, they do have good hearing, which that makes sense. Oh, let me head to my okay, so we're going simulation, realistic peoples. And then we're going shifters with hawk qualities. Temp wings, excellent eyesight and hearing. Let's go with basically no sense of smell. Okay, so we got our shifters. We got the kind of the route that we're building through. So I would say next would be, where would such peoples dwell? And the two that come to mind are woodlands. When I think forest, forest sounds really dense to me. And if you're gonna fly, you want, well, room to fly. So woodlands sounds just a bit more open, which to me, which would allow them to, you know, fly from place to place if needed. But then also mountains. They would have plenty of sky above to fly around to different places. Hmm. Hmm. And some birds uh, like to dive bomb into water to get, food. So wherever we place them, let's have it be kind of on like the coast. Yeah, let's go with coastal. Mm, woodlands, mountain. Let's go geographically. I'm trying to picture a place that there are a lot of woodlands by like the sea. Mm, oh well, yeah, Oregon, here in the states, up to the way northwest. Yeah, I mean that would put them on the coast. And Oregon, at least from the pictures I've seen, has wonderful forests to it. So much so that I'm pretty sure the Fae live there. So I definitely want to visit it at some point so I can disappear and probably come back and it'll be like 10 years later. And you guys will be like, whoa, where'd you go, buddy? Yeah, let's go woodland. Because, I mean, because mountains is going to be a bit colder, depending. And yeah, hawks, I would say there's probably certain hawks that can deal with the cold a bit better, but I like the woodlandness. Ooh, rainforest in Washington's Olympic National Park. Hey, yeah. There you go. There you go. I'll have to visit there sometime too. Lots of world to see. So little time. And money. That's the big one. Okay. So we got our location. We're going for a coastal woodland area. Ooh, I guess we should probably think about, when in their timeline would we be setting this? Are we going for the standard fantasy route? Because I would kind of picture their houses sort of like the Ewoks from Star Wars, being up in the trees so that they could kind of just glide and coast around to each other. It would keep them elevated away from predators and prey. But then if we you know, jumped ahead in the timeline, they'd only be able to fit so many people topside. Or, yeah, topside, and then ground floor. They would have some huts down there too. We'll stick with the more fantasy route, but they probably would have some people still living on the ground floor, because with most societies there's gonna be a hierarchy. of some sort. Let's go with treetop huts. And ground huts. Now, we could take this in sort of either direction. On one hand, maybe they keep the, the upper class people get to stay topside. Maybe the elderly, the frail, the sick, maybe they live topside. Everyone else kind of, lives on the ground. Or we can kind of tweak that to more of the bad side, in that only the upper class is topside, and they leave the weak and frail and elderly down below so that they get eaten first. Let's be nice today. Topside is for upper class, and we'll just say and frail, which will, kind of encompass. Was feeling very Midgar but forest. Uh-oh. They better watch out for avalanche. Or I guess in this one they would it needs to be like a forest. The timber, the logsmen. Better watch out for the loggers. They're gonna come cut your tree down. Did Sephiroth do this? You know what? Let's do it. Let's Midgar it up. Yep, topside is for the upper class. Frail and normies on the ground. Yeah, I mean, if we are going the more realistic route, that's how it would go. It's kind of just the way the world works, before revolution and everything happens, or a crushing dictatorship from above happens. One of the two. Maybe a third option that, just for the wild card. And for story purposes, not that we're designing for that route, but I mean, this helps build some dramatic tension. Okay, so we got hawk shifting human people. Just gonna say, if there's other races in this world, which, I mean, more than likely there would be, but, I mean, look at Earth. We're pretty boring. We got humans. That seemed really, sarcastic and whatnot, but honestly, we are the best. I love humanity. Um, but let's just say if other races, these guys are probably looked down upon. You know, they're the ones you probably go to capture for enslavement. Yes, I bought a nice messenger shifter the other day. He's very good at taking our packages to our cousins, you know, across the way. So yeah, we'll say if other races, these shifters are slaves, uh, like fourth class citizens. Citizens. I can spell. Sometimes. Ah, that's good. I haven't had cream soda in a long time. Nope, not gonna look at that nutritional page. I don't want to know. Let's see. But then if it's just them, yeah, I mean, there'd probably be some infighting between other clans, and if just them, then infighting between clans. Let's see. Aspects of society. Aspects. Oh, education. Aha. Yes. Education. They would want the lowers to be educated enough, but yeah, the upper class gets the real education, while the lower gets minimal. Let's see. Education. Oh, and then of course, well, I would say there wouldn't be enough upper class people to be the authority, so there would be the turn feathers of those that kind of get selected to be like, hey, you're gonna be a enforcer for us. Enforcement would be from both upper and select chosen lowers. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. What are you doing there, laptop? Calm down. Ooh. All right. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Education, enforcement. Oh, that's yeah. So what kind of education does one, does it matter? Two, do they use oral tradition or do they do schools? A very good question. I would say they would do oral tradition. They do have human hands. Because, I mean, depending on the race, it would be like, oh, yeah, if their arms were just wings, they wouldn't really be able to grab anything. So, like, riding stuff wouldn't be worth it because it'd be so difficult. But since they are humanoid, it might even be a combo of like oral tradition with probably some books or more yeah, probably more like hide, like, scrolls and stuff. Wow, nope. It's two L's there, Jonas, not two O's. Scrolls! Yeah, I was writing in my scroll the other day. Oh, Garrett, it was a pleasure. Have fun doing whatever you're doing. And if it's not fun, then just, get through it the best you can. Let's see, even without a writing system, most cultures develop a way. That is true. Yeah. Because even if they just had the, oh, yeah, going for food. Nice. Whoa. Brain fart. That train derailed. Here we go. It's coming back. Another train is picking up all the passengers. Okay, yes, if they had just wings, they probably would still use like their feet or their beaks to, yeah, carve, paint something. Let's see, painting, sculpture. Look at the Benin bronzes. Ooh, I am not familiar with the Benin bronzes. Benin bronzes. Come on, you can make the picture bigger than that. I'm old man. There we go. Ah, I love history. In school, yeah, history was, that probably was my favorite class besides lunch. I loved lunch. Math class was the worst. Yeah, these are neat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll actually go with a combo. They probably have, even though I'm kind of picturing them, they're not like, they're not primitive in their societal timeline. I'm kind of picturing them, a, well, whatever. But yeah, they probably would have like written stuff like scrolls and some of their older stuff where let's what do we want to do? Humanoid bird. let's go. Ooh, let's go pottery. How they kept track of things was on, you know, vases and stuff. They would doodle the story of whatever event, oh, the Great Flood, where the ocean god fled down from the mountain and oh, all those poor grounders. Let's see. And yeah, let's see. What kind of education? Ooh, yeah. So, what would they teach? They would do. They would probably do, mathematics. That's kind of just a good, I would say, general thing for people so that. Because more than likely, they have a tithe of some sort or tax to pay up to the upper class. And, you need to be able to count well enough. They teach, yeah, mathematics, history. History is a real common thing that, any society would teach that one. Well, I say that. Mm, of course, there are some exceptions. It could be a race of something that the offspring are just born with the knowledge that the parents had. That'd be wild. That's kind of how animals are, though. It's not like the deer, like the doe. They don't really have to teach the fawn to, uh, how to walk and all that. They kind of just pop out and start doing it. Mm, hmm. Mathematics, history. There probably wouldn't be any art classes. Like the whole pottery thing and writing, that would be kept for the upper class. Writing arts for uppers. Hmm. Ooh, what other subjects did I do in school? English, writing, history, math. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sciences they probably wouldn't teach. It would be more um kind of like a intern kind of thing. Like, oh yes, if you want to learn how to run the apothecary. Yeah, lowers would have trades to learn through internship. Uh, yeah, out like being a medicine man, that would kind of fall between both upper and lower. So really either could learn that one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so education, enforcement slash. Well, actually, no. Well, we sort of have that. So we have enforcement, but what about the authority? It would be from the upper class, of course. From uppers, would it be a single person? Would it be more of a council? I'm picturing I'm going council. Uh, oh, what's the word I'm trying to look here? We're gonna say, because my brain's not thinking of the right word, unelected council. So it's really just the lineage. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know what? For funsies, we'll say they pick one lower person to be on the council. And it would probably be more so that instead of hearing the squawks from everybody below, they could just channel it all into this one guy and then they can just ignore that one guy during the council meetings. He's really just there as like a figurehead. Okay, okay. So we got authority. Um oh, yes, I wanted to make sure I got to this. So because of their race, so yeah, having the good eyes, they would be, well, yeah, they would be more hunter gatherers because they'd be able to like patrol around and be like, "Hey, I see berries. Hey, there's some fish down there." Um, so their eyes and yeah, the hearing would help with the hunting part. With their, since hawks have like no sense of smell, and even though these guys are more humanoid, I want to keep that. So we're gonna say, mm, very infrequent bathing. Yeah, these guys probably stink. Let's label this one eyes and ears so that I know that that's kind of the aspect I'm focusing on. And then this one will be uh, smell. So yeah, infrequent bathing. Um, yeah, like really poor waste management because they can't smell it. So yeah, just throw that throw all that goop over there. Take out your uh, take out your piss bucket and just dump it over there. Oh, my music stopped. Let's see. That's such a good album. I like it so much. For those wondering, I'm listening to the David Crowder. He is my favorite Christian musician artist. He also has one of the most magnificent beards in the history of mankind. Yeah, let's do another Crowder album. That's a good one. Okay, so yeah, eyes, ears. Oh, would you stop doing that? I really need to remember to bring my mouse. But yeah, the touchpad on my laptop is definitely showing its weariness. Sorry about it. Oh, I just had. Oh, yes. Going back, the whole pottery thing makes kind of more sense now too, because since they have like, well, one they have the more humanoid like hands and fingers, but also with their claws and talons, they could carve into it little designs to help with the storytelling and all that. You could say with that maybe they could do like actual like sculptures using their talons to carve that, but that seems too extreme if that makes sense. So yeah, going pottery was that was a good route. Mm, okay, yeah, they shift flight. Oh, with limited flight, topside structures would be closer together. Oh yeah, they would. This one's kind of in general, they would build rest points. So if you're, going off somewhere, you'd be flying and be like, oh man, I'm about to reach my limit. I gotta land. And then you. Mm, hmm. Flight, eyes and ears, smell. Uh, hmm. What else could we do with society? Oh, okay. So yeah, I talked about trades like earlier. what kind of trades would they even do? I don't see them being blacksmiths, especially with where they live, how they live. They, I mean, they would need, I mean, some materials to construct the houses, but I mean, it would probably just be all wood and stuff like that. So yeah, no no blacksmiths. Woodcutters and carpentry. Those would be kind of the big two. Um, and yeah, kind of, even though I mentioned it before, I'll re-mention it here. Hunter gatherer. You know, some people's jobs, they really, yeah, I don't see them really growing anything. I mean, it'd be probably just little things that they would try to probably try and grow, but mostly it'd be hunter gatherer, and that would, I mean, that would be your job to go out and get the food and stuff for everybody. Mm, yeah, the medicine slash herbalist. Because if there's another thing that every society would basically have in some form of or another, would be some kind of medical person. Mm, blacksmith. Uh, oh, yeah, tanners to work the hides and whatnot, so they could have scrolls. Probably line the huts for insulation, blankets, coverings, that sort of thing. Mm, tanners. I feel like I had a thought and then I lost it. Poop. Ah, what was it? Come on, you know what I was thinking. Remind me. Oh well. But yeah, so no blacksmiths, woodcutting, carpentry. Oh, that's what it was. Clothing. Yes, 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 yes. Hmm. Clothing. Tailors. Would they have clothes? I mean, probably in some fashion, a little bit. Because these shifters, I'm picturing them, I mean, being humanoid, but they'd have probably a good amount of just little feathers on them. Mm, so yeah, they probably would have like tailors of some sort. If not only for clothes, but to make, I mean, to make carrying bags for, collecting the berries and whatnot. Let's see. He's been in and out. It's all good, dude. We're all just hanging out here, being cool. I've been doing some personal work about magic on the sea. Ooh. water bending. Okay, so we got jobs and stuff that people would do. Oh, well, yeah. There would be the trash men. There probably would be somebody's job to go around and collect the waste and, dispose of it somewhere. Ooh, soothsayers. That's brilliant. That, I love it. Okay, blacksmiths. I think that's everything. Yeah. Okay. Well, I say everything for the trades portion. I'm sure there's something about society that I'm forgetting. Mm, we've kind of gone over how the elderly would be treated. Mm, we covered bathing, that because of their lack of smell, they probably wouldn't bathe as often. Although, with their really good eyesight, maybe they would clean themselves more frequently because with those hawk eyes, they'd be able to see every little imperfection in the feathers. Ooh, that would actually probably be how one of the ways the upper class, you know, separates themselves. Let me update that bathing one. There we go. There we go. So for the personal work for the soothsayers, is it for a campaign? Is it for just a story? Just for funsies? Ooh. I do this a lot. It- I must be part Tarkin, I guess, because that is who I always think of for this motion is Grand Admiral Tarkin from Star Wars. Because I mean, pretty much anytime he was doing something, it seemed like he was doing this and talking to whoever. It's a good thinking pose. He's and boy are the Tarkins thinkers. That's what makes them so dangerous. Okay, so trades, education, enforcement. Mm, oh, I mean, I covered who would be enforcing, but I mean, what would be their punishments? Um, the lower class are kind of already the grunt workers, so they probably wouldn't send anybody to like a labor camp or something like that. Oh, they would clip your talons and and for severe cases, surgically remove the wings. And they would, I mean, more than likely, they would have some kind of prison cell to keep you in. In some cases, they would probably just exile you from the clan and everything. Oh, let's go back to... Yes, that one. So yeah, if it's just them infighting between clans, but also they would probably, they would trade with other clans. Would they would they trade with, if there were other races, would they trade with them? Because with how shifters kind of are, at least how I see them, being kind of like the fourth class citizen, I really don't see them. Wow. Yeah, I don't see them trading with anybody else, really. It would probably be like the one off caravan guy that they just happen to befriend. You know, like Fancy Dan. Fancy Dan will trade with anybody. Courtney loves Fancy Dan, as everyone else does. That's for the world we play in. They want to go do some pirate stuff, so I thought I'd work some of the kinks out. Hey, nice. What level is the group? And are they pirating currently for essentially a quest or something, or they were just like, yeah, we want to be pirates now? Okay, so yeah, we got our punishments. Society. I live in one. I should know more about it, right? Mm. Hmm. I think I mean, I know I'm probably missing stuff, but kind of feels like I got everything. We got our peoples. We got our place. we got our essentially our living style. Class system. Yeah, the trades, enforcement, authority, just the racial aspects and how that would affect things. Punishments. Oh, yeah, war. I mean, that's gonna be a pretty easy one, I would think. The, of course, the lowers would be they would be the soldiers being led by uppers. And I mean, it's not like the uppers are that incompetent or something. I mean, they would train the soldiers. If you're gonna use your lessers as cannon fodder, you still want them to be kinda good. Because if they lose, then you're screwed. Oh, yeah. What kind of weapons would hawk people use? Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have swords. No, it would be. It'd probably be spears. Um, Bows. Mm, actually, yeah, they would be. They would just be more ranged base. Because when you can fly, even temporarily, you could just from above. And yeah, probably some type of club. Um, would they? It would be, yeah, light armor, like leather. They would need to stay lighter so that they could fly, and then also just kind of where they live, since they don't blacksmith. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See. Oh, they're level 3, but we're playing 13th age, which only goes up to 10. Oh, nice. That's a good level to stop at. Maybe even a little bit before. I'm not a fan of high level play. In general, especially lately, I'm kind of not a fan of levels anymore. Like leveling up, it's kind of lame now. Back in the day, playing a game, it'd be like, yeah, I want to level up so I can, learn the new move or get this skill or just to not die. but now I'm like, can you do the Ocarina of Time route? Like, just have me level up through items and whatnot. Like, as far as video games go, like, really just treat, they've been talking, well, I've been seeing posts about Fallout 5, and, it's always like, yeah, it's gonna be this super big map, which, all right, calm down. Going bigger isn't necessarily better. But the one thing that I would love is if they treated Fallout 5 like kind of like a first person shooter like Call of Duty, where you're just the same level throughout the whole thing. But, maybe you can find gear and stuff to upgrade your stealth. That's one reason why I made my own little game system, which I would still like to tweak a little bit. I think I've gotten everything pretty much figured out about it, but it's basically all skill based. And so, you would still level up, but you don't have attributes like strength and whatnot. It's like, okay, you want to be good with spears? Well, put your points into spears. If you want to be good at, fishing, you would put your points into that skill. Because I do really like my duet style, where it's just the D20 plus 5, regardless of whatever it is. That one's nice, but I still like having, a character sheet so that everybody can still feel a little different, with their stats. But with the skill system and everything, I like to do like perks. So when they level up, they don't really gain any more health or special moves or spells or any of that. It would be more like, oh yeah, you can learn this thing so that when you're attacked, you have the chance to counterattack. Have you tried Knaves? That's a very inventory based system. I have not. The only things I've done is 5E and what was that? Pathfinder 2, I think. And man, Pathfinder, I'm I'm not knocking the system. It really is just me, and it could also have been the DM too. But man, Pathfinder, it was too much because it was like, okay, yeah, you're leveling up, so you have these bajillion things you can choose from. But you have to make sure that you can choose it because this one requires this perk to take, and this one requires this one. Oh, it was a nightmare. It was too much. It was too much, guys. And I know I've watched some videos about other systems and read up on them, and I'm trying to remember, like GURPS. I remember when I was learning about that one, it was sounding okay-ish, but then there was something about it that it was like, oh, well, that seems a bit extreme, and but yeah, I'll look in the Nave, see what that's like, and yeah, I think that might have been one of the aspects of it is I don't like crunchy. Like, yeah, man, that train just totally derailed. Ooh, there were no survivors. Oh, nice. Yeah, the entire booklet for the first edition of Knave is 7 pages long. Yeah, there was one. I feel like there was one that I listened to that it was like the rules and everything. It was like 2 pages. I don't remember the name of it. I wonder if it would. But there was one where it was like your your equipment was your health, which I kind of like that idea that, if your armor and everything like breaks, then yeah, how are you going to defend yourself? Which I mean, realistically you still could, but also could you? Because it'd be one thing to fight a troll when you have all this armor on, but then another one when you're stark naked and yeah. So there's a couple like that one. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I feel like it had death in the title. Before I digress anymore, let me go back real quick to society just to see. Oh, wow. Sorry it took so long for me to get to that one. Of course, religion. Would these guys have. Uh, yeah, religion. Mm, not gonna lie, this whole time while building them, it's felt kind of Native American to me. And I feel like these guys would be kind of more spiritual than religious. Yeah, spiritual, not religious. Yeah, they might have gods, but it wouldn't be like one that they're like, oh yes, we worship and praise Obadiah the strong beak. It would kind of just be more like, yes, the great falcon uh, collided with the earth goddess, and together they formed the mountains and the seas. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm, yeah, no afterlife. They would probably just be more like, oh yes, when you die, your your body returns to the ground from whence we came. Or and then your soul becomes the wind. Ooh, I will also recommend Goblin with a Fat Ass and a Honey Heist, both of which are one-page RPGs. Hmm. That's a funny name. Oh, what time is it? 8:50. Well, hot dang. All right. Well, I'm going to call this society. Oh my gosh. This touchpad. Sorry. I'm going to call this society completed. Let me just make one quick note here. Yeah, this was quite fun indeed. I'm gonna save this Google Doc and maybe I'll do this more. Pick a race and just build a society around them. In my life will campaign, I have orcs as being uh very samurai. Ooh, Goblin is now in the Discord. Hey! Oh, good thinking there, Meatball. Let me bring up our Discord here real quick. I need to probably start plopping the Discord link into the description of the video. But also, like, the Discord links are kind of weird because they only last X amount of time, which doesn't make any sense to me. I know, laptop, I'm asking you to do a lot. You have 3 things open. It's a real doozy. Okay, here we go. Invite to server. Oh. Just give me the, yes. Copy link. Boom. Yes, to those watching now or in the future, and to those watching in the past, I'm very concerned. But there is our Discord link. Feel free to hop in, join in. We have a great little community in our little Discord. We got a music channel, which I would love if more people posted in, but it's all good. We got a world building channel, kind of just a brainstorming one, which they're kind of the same thing, but they're not the same thing. It made sense to make the separate one in my head. We have a question of the week. What else we got in there? Oh yeah, we got the art channel. Tech is our artiste extraordinaire. They post a good amount of their art. I think they're taking some kind of art class, and so they tend to post a lot of their projects from there. And yeah, Tech just has this great little sweet cartoon style. And yeah, with the Discord, you can stay up to date on all of our happenings and doodads. For instance, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 16th of May of the 2026, we will be at the Bowling Green Corvette Museum for an anime fest. I know, an anime fest at the Corvette Museum. Who would have thunk it? Have no idea where they're going to set us up until we arrive, but just it's going to be wild. I'm really curious to see who's going to show up. Because, of course, I know we'll get kind of the normal anime fest crowd, but since it's at the Corvette Museum, I keep picturing these car guys coming in and just being like, what are all these dorks doing here? Corvettes, by the way, are gorgeous. I am not a car guy, but especially after doing the tour there with my uncle, it's like, yeah, if I was gonna go the rich guy route, I probably would go Corvette because they're so sleek. But boy, are they low to the ground, and that would be a pain to get in and out of. So yeah, we got that coming up. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. Once again, we are the Wayward Inquisition. I am Chamberlain Jonas. We have all sorts of VODs here on YouTube for you to watch. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We have a plethora of genres for you to listen to. We have sci-fi, which includes Star Wars and a Halo-inspired game, Ark Outer Rift. Our Knight Commander Patrick made that one, and when I say he made it, he made it. From the ground up, he made what our characters could do, their stats, how their equipment worked, the weapons, how much damage they did. He transferred a first person shooter to tabletop pretty darn well. I mean, it felt the combat felt quick and intense. Other than when I would roll and Patrick would roll because we're terrible rollers. So there were a couple times where my character and the enemy, we kind of just danced around each other for a while, and then finally we would hit. But yeah, Arc is so good. That one was so much fun. Then, if sci-fi's not your thing, we have The Wicked West, a fantasy western. That's right. A western world filled with fantasy people. No magic, by the way, just bullets. Wow. Yeah, Wicked West. And then, yes, we have dark fantasy for the fantasy lovers. We have our OG, the Golden Child, Treachery, a Governor's Secret, which was our very first big campaign. And we went way too hard on it. I mean, we came out of the gate swinging with that one. admittedly, if you go to watch it, it starts out rough. I mean, it was our first time. We were a little baby channel then. But pretty quickly, you can see the quality increase. It's around episode 5 that you'll see a change, and then another big change about episode 10, I think it is. So just bear with it. Listen in, because, yeah, our characters were they were so good. And the story was fantastic. But currently, we're in the sequel, Treachery, A Lord's Gambit, which is a steampunk game set in quite a future of Governor's Secret. And this one's unhinged, mostly because of Patrick and I's characters. We both had pretty wild concepts, and Courtney is such a good sport that she was like, yeah, just tell me the characters and I'll, if they don't work with the world, I'll let you know. But she, would do her best to fit them in. Of course, if we made them super wild, a DM can only do so much. And that one, A Lord's Gambit, is really kicking off now. The last episode was awesome. That one, I feel like I'm missing one. Why would I feel like I'm missing one? I recite this like all the time of all of our different shows. But anywho, before I digress and ramble on any further, just check us out, see what we have to offer. I'm sure you will find something that you'll love. I do these world building streams just about every Thursday. Sometimes I just need a break. Like whenever I donate blood and feel woozy. Or that time I got in the fight with that chicken. He had it coming. But thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. Check out our Redbubble. You can find all of our merchandise on there. They're fantastic. We also have a PayPal if you're just feeling frisky. But I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember, brother, that freedom always crits. Bye.